Max and Jayden, what's happening?
Good day.
Hello.
How are you going tonight?
Having a blast.
Yeah, good. Great.
Sweet, man. Thanks so much for taking your time out and come and hang out with me here on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Been looking forward to it.
Yeah, awesome. So we just heard Ironmotion, which is actually the song that sort of got me hooked onto you guys. Led me onto this EP. So I think it might be a great idea to sort of to maybe start there about the whole video, because that's an absolute killer song and killer video. So could you run us a bit through about that song and how the video came about?
Well, we caught Colin, a videographer over in Melbourne, caught our eye, and he's from Ten of Swords. That's his company. And he's just been doing some great content for lots of different emerging bands like Alpha Wolf and Dealer, and Make Them Suffer's new stuff was done through his. And we just thought, bugger it, we're going to fly him over here and get him to shoot us a video. And we wanted to put the WA coast in it. Given the song was called Ironmotion, we thought it was all fitting. And we had our bassist's girlfriend act in it for us, so that was good. And the storyline, I guess you could say it's about, it is all analogies, but at the heart of it, it's about escaping civilization and retreating away to nature, and how Mother Nature is kind of reclaiming the land in a way. I'm trying to think of the lyrics.
Yeah, when you don't sing it, it's really hard to remember the lyrics.
In the lyrics, I say things like, I cleanse the city's stench. I want to rinse the dirt from my hands. And it's all just like the filth of humanity and how we just plague the earth, and how Mother Nature is just wipe us out in a way. So
I suppose that's quite relevant these times with COVID and all that crap.
That's a reaction to our pollution.
Yeah, that was pretty much the content of the video. And regarding the song, Nick from Make Them Suffer, because Nick is our producer. So cool. The way it usually works is pretty much most of our songs is I do like a riff bank and try to put in a structure, and then we'll catch up with Nick online because he lives in Melbourne.
Yep.
And then, we work on it together. And then when we're pretty much done with the whole song, and then pretty much after riff bank, me and Nick catch up, work on the structure, maybe adding more riffs and, melodies and strings and orchestra and all those, dynamics and feels underneath, the choruses and the verses and wherever we think it's necessary. And then, when we're done, Jayden's usually jump on board with, doing the whole thing. Sometimes Jayden has like a chorus idea, but with Ironmotion, pretty much finished the whole song, and then Jayden. And you actually worked with Sean from Make Them Suffer as well. Yeah.
And when we heard it, it sounded oceany, so we made it about the ocean. It sounded.
So are the songs mainly sort of done as you mentioned, like through a riff bank, or do you sometimes actually do them like collaborative in a rehearsal room?
So basically with Ironmotion EP, most of the songs I did a riff bank and then catch up with Nick McLaren from Make Them Suffer, which he's our producer, and then he has some really brilliant idea of how to create a good chorus and pre-chorus, and that was my biggest weakness before, and probably maybe it is still. I'm not too sure, but that's where Nick is a big help to me as a songwriter. And man, that's pretty much it. Like, we just riff banked, create a structure that we thought is catchy and it's working, and then Jayden's did all the vocals, and I think he caught up with Sean, singer of Make Them Suffer, for like a couple of advices, and they recorded the whole vocals together. We're working with Make Them Suffer dudes all the time, actually, because they're really good and they're just great. Sean and Nick, both of them.
They're great mentors, and personally I wasn't I wouldn't classify myself as a screamer when I joined the band. I was more of just a guitarist. So having Sean run me through everything and helping me a lot with that first EP really showed me what, how True Professional does it. And I've used his formula for our later releases with Eclipse, with Pretend Pessimist and the new one, Mind Smear. And he rubbed off on me in a really good way. Yeah,
wow. I was about to say, if you sort of joined as a guitarist, you certainly cannot hear that when you hear the album, man. It sounds incredible, man. So I was about to say, in regards to sort of like the overall, I'll just bring it up here again so people can see it. So in regards to the EP here, like all these songs has a very international sound. Like again, they sound like some of the huge sort of metalcore band that you do hear from overseas. Have you had any sort of specific influences in mind from when you were sort of writing this? Because again, this album also sounds quite different to some of the previous it's a Nucleust. That's probably a good thing just to have that sort of cemented how to actually pronounce the name, because I've got the t-shirt here as well. So it's a Nucleust.
Yeah.
Cool. So which sort of influences did you have in mind for writing sort of the sound you have currently?
Well, for the EP, I mean, personally, from the vocal approach, I was trying to do something a bit more. It's a bit of a taboo word, but commercial with the screaming. I wasn't, all over the place. I wasn't doing pig squeals, and I wasn't like doing, crazy Danny Filth and Job for Our Cowboy vocals. I was trying to keep it pretty mid-ranged and pretty consistent in pitch, to keep it a bit more on the architectsy type side, to try and put a bit more of my true voice in the scream, as far as just trying to be the most brutal screamer ever. I tried to pull back a bit. So that was my little, anyway.
Yeah, honestly, I pretty much do the same thing with guitar, because my background is very progressive as well. Like, I was always into like progressive metals and, just do a lot of riffing, like,
old salad.
Yeah, all time. I remember I used to have like 10 riffs in one song, which is fine, for that style. That it really depends on the style. But with Ironmotion EP, I just really toned that down. So I try not to, go too technical. Try not to, just make the melodies, too chromatic, or just make everything very melodic. Just make it appealing and commercial. Why not?
I guess
we want to sell. Yeah, we are sell out.
I guess you could say we are. Yeah. Well, you could always say with the EP, we just tried to do Nucleust stripped back in a way, because prior to Ironmotion, it was quite balls to the walls and technical and 10-minute songs, and we just almost dialed it back a notch really for the EP when you look at it.
Yeah.
Could that have something to do with the collaboration with Make Them Suffer as well, to sort of use some of their input?
For sure, man. Like, well, the whole thing with Nick started at a very interesting point for me, because I was talking to him one day, regarding guitar and that kind of thing, and then I showed him our songs, and he just pointed out like, oh, man, your songs are really good. You would have way more, like attention if you just like bring the whole progressive thing a bit down and like add more melodic to it. And after that, there was just a glimpse in my head. I was like, we should do it. I want to make it groovier. I want to make it more
melodic and
melodic, more appealing to a bigger crowd, because there's no point doing this if you're not
more repetitive, more structured,
if you can't sell. So.
And so how did you meet him? Like, how did you guys get in contact?
Well, I knew Nick, I knew Nick from 4 years ago, something like this, but our relationship, to be getting really close after, he started becoming a producer, which is, let's say, a year and a half ago, I would say. And then, we just work with each other really, really well, and he's working with all of us really well.
With two peas in a pod.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
I actually catching up with him tomorrow night. Sorry, not Thursday night. For we're working on another song at the moment. It's very interesting, man. I've learned heaps from him personally regarding like guitars and structure and how to create all these nice layers underneath, like your choruses underneath your guitars, because it adds a lot of feelings and just dynamic, depth into it. And Nick is just the best guy to work with in that perspective.
Cool. And in regards to the recording structures, well, now you mentioned that you started to lay all the guitars and stuff. I saw you had a video where you sort of explained a little bit about the guitar tone that you're creating and stuff. Are you guys recording most of it at home as well?
Everything, man. Yeah, me and Jayden, we record the whole thing. Yeah.
We're full DIY. The only thing we outsource is obviously Nick's production expertise, and we don't mix and master it ourselves. We sling that off, sure. But yeah, I give the neighbours an earful at Weird Out, my vocals, and Max and me do some midnight marathons. We've finished tracking songs because we set deadlines. And sometimes we pushed it into 3, 4 a.m., 6 a.m., just trying to finish stuff off for deadlines because we're just so, I don't know, pedantic, I guess.
You just have to meet the deadlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of deadlines, like when you sort of see how you guys promote your stuff online, like it's so schematic, which is a beautiful thing to see. Like a lot of the other bands that I've been speaking with don't really have much of a sort of an overall idea of doing the whole social media sort of like the marketing plans and stuff. Well, it seems that you guys have got that sort of pretty down packed. Could you? Yeah, I was about to say it would be great to maybe try if you could sort of run us through some of the planning that goes into releasing a new song.
Well, I mean,
we just try new things every time, right?
Yeah. Like, for instance, when we released Eclipse, that was a secret release, so we didn't even tell anyone. We're just like, hey guys, we just put a new song on Spotify just this second.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
So there was no hint that it was coming. But then with Pretend Pessimist, we milked that a lot, and we had quite the elaborate rollout strategy. And we had a little music video. There was also like an overall concept with the blue mouth thing. And yeah, just like trying to leave a bit of a breadcrumb trail. And I know personally, this is how I feel, and I know it feels like this to some, but it can be a bit aggravating because if I see a song and it catches my attention, I want to hear it. I don't want to hear a section of it. So I know that we do annoy people with it, but yeah, we do have to try and build awareness prior to the release because it's important that on that first day it gets an influx. So
yeah, like I honestly, I personally don't really believe in whole. Jayden knows probably like getting 10 reviews before your single launch or album launch sorted. Like I feel like having Spotify and all these DIY bands that they're doing really well. The necessity of having like all these blogs and website writing reviews for you, it's almost fading out in my opinion. Again, like don't get me wrong, like there's so many bands doing it and good for them. I personally never see the results of running like this crazy PR campaign of like paying all these magazines to do like a feature for you.
Yeah, which we've done. We've done like we paid Hysteria. We
have heaps of features, especially before
they wrote us a crappy interview, and it was just we were just back then.
It was.
That's what you do.
And then I was just like, why are we spending that much money on like we should collaborate with a really good artist. We'll see you out next week, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Instead, you should probably collab with a really good artist with a good followers, and then create almost another song together, and working like that instead of just like just keep so many of these magazines and websites and online stuff tag you, and then you feel like it's really cool, but then when you see your Spotify, it gives like, I only have 50 whatever streams got out of the whole thing. But then when you're actually running the whole thing independently and just like work on your Spotify, releasing good tracks, your music, I think that's the most important thing in my opinion. Like your music, if you have a crappy music, you can run the best PR campaign. I don't really think it will go anywhere, to be honest with you.
And there's so much noise out there that it is really hard to try and stand out.
Yeah, it is.
You can run the most elaborate PR campaign, but so are 1,000 other bands that sound exactly like you. So sometimes it can be a waste of money. So this is just how we run it, man. Again, like for some bands, like me and Jayden, we don't mind, stay awake till like 3 a.m. and making things happen. Spamming people.
If you don't have the time, if you can't send a good email to people, if your communication skills is bad, you know what I'm saying? It really has to be something that works for you. So for us, this works, at least at this point, we do even our own promo shoots because Jayden is a good photographer. So but again, like if you're not a good photographer, please don't take your promo shoots because it's going to look really bad. So
and don't do it anyway. It's a pain in the ass with cameras on a time. Not like running into the photo, like never looks good.
But yeah, it's this. We just try to be active on social media. Have
live on our phones on release day, like today, as you know, was release day. So let's show you. You won't believe this.
What? 7 hours screen time.
Yeah, mine would be the same thing.
And that is literally just chatting to folk. I'm running a vocal competition, and we're going to do a giveaway, and we're compiling everyone's little vocal covers of the song. They can just scream a line. They can just do the whole song if they want, do their own little interpretation on their phone, in a studio, however they like. And then we're going to compile them all together, and me and Max are going to sit down like this, and we're going to react to them all and put it up on our YouTube account. And then our favourite one is going to get a free merch giveaway. So that's something we're doing at the moment. So
wicked.
Fun.
So that's something you're going to announce in the coming days, or?
Oh, it's already.
Just popped it up late this Arvo. So yeah.
Sweet. That sounds good, man. So, but in regards to sort of the overall sort of schematics of getting everything up, like, are you, because you are, as you mentioned as well, you're super engaging on especially on Facebook. Like, you ask a lot of questions on your page to sort of engage with fans and stuff. Is any of that, is that something that you sort of plan ahead, or sort of how does the marketing side of it work?
Yeah. Well, I found just asking questions and interact with people, especially on Facebook, effective, because we're looking for like finding those, super fans, we're looking for like finding those really, dedicated fans and friends that can help us out with this business, saying it the best way I can say it. So at the end of the day, we're looking for those people that have, interest in this band. And then when we posting, asking questions, and all those kind, supporters that are getting back to us and answer the questions, give you a good, perspective of like, hell yeah. So after this, I should do this, after that, I know there's responses. So it's just like trial things, man. Like, we try things, we try not to have the same strategy for a long time, because it doesn't make any sense, because the words keep changing, social media algorithms changing. You can't stay the same. So yeah, we just try things, I guess. Yeah.
Well, it certainly seems to work, because you're constantly on my newsfeed. Like, every time I log in, there's some post from a Nucleust, or there's or your stories like appear up in the top and stuff. Mine's me is out tomorrow, so 4 days to this new single is out.
Oh, I bet everyone's sick of hearing it. My friends are sick of me, eh? My friends.
Yeah, but I think you're onto something again, because you are active, and I think that is what you need to be. Like, I think you rather need to be too much in people's faces than not enough, because otherwise people don't get exposed to it. People can always, like, the people that don't want to hear it can obviously turn it off. But, fans, as you were mentioning, like the diehard fans would want to be in the loop all the time. That's again why I think it's wicked what you guys are doing, because there's always something happening.
Yes, thank you.
On that note, we do have a few other things coming up too. We've got some interesting YouTube videos we're going to be putting out next week.
Yeah.
Just on some controversial topics. We're going to discuss the lyrics of Pretend Pessimist in one of them. And in another one, we're talking about mic cupping.
Yeah.
Because I mic cup on stage, you see, and I cop a lot of heat about it. So I thought I'd have a discussion about it on YouTube and do a few examples in the studio. So
Yeah.
got a few things coming as well that people, more metal vocalists, might be a bit excited about, as opposed to
Yeah.
the listeners.
We're just trying to communicate better with our followers and friends in YouTube, because that, we'll see. But yeah, Jayden's been working really hard from home, shooting a lot of different kinds of videos, and they all look actually great. So yeah, we can't wait to share them all with you all.
Yeah, it's great. Like it's content. It's always got like good to build up a good content database. I went through your YouTube the other day, and I can see there's quite a few gigs from some of the previous lineups where we played somewhere in Indonesia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So how has all the like the previous touring circle, and how has that been, and where are you sort of looking to take it further? So that's probably like a two questions in there. So how has the experience? Let me try and rephrase that. How has the experience from the previous touring circles? How is that leading up to where you're wanting to go with the current band lineup?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the previous touring experiences, the biggest one was supporting Thunder in Europe, which was massive. We played 10 sold out shows in biggest concert hall you can imagine. But we were kind of playing to the wrong crowd, in my opinion, because even that I think at the 8th day of the tour, we sold out all our merch. Even that happened, people bought all our merch and CDs and T-shirts. It was absolutely amazing. But that experience for me was absolutely amazing. Met Chris Barnes and all these legendary death metal names, and then have fun and then that kind of thing. But when I got back from that tour, I was always feeling what I exactly achieved though, as the business concept of the band. We spend all this money to go to Europe, pay for that, pay for this, have a credit card debt now. Does it worth it? You know what I'm saying? So, and it did, definitely was amazing experience. But when I got back, especially after I had my son, I just, from my point of view, I really want to make this a profitable business, at least something that start paying for itself. So in my opinion, for our future touring, we definitely want to jump on board with a tour that a bigger band, a bigger band that is very active, and we fit into the style. Supporting them as whatever opening band or any band, but I'm definitely going to be very careful about what kind of band the band is, and then is touring with them will give us necessarily any exposure, or financially would it be beneficial for the band. So we will definitely put all these things in. But before with Indonesia and Europe, I was just want to do it, just want to do the tour, because it was absolutely amazing. With Indonesia, it didn't cost us anything because we got grants from government. So,
okay,
thank you, hey, government. But it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Indonesia was just next level of craziness.
Us Aussies love Bali. It's the Bogan capital.
But we didn't play Bali. We didn't play Bali. We played some other cities in Java province, which was actually amazing. But yeah, for us, we definitely, the next step for the band, COVID-19 happened, and unfortunately really messed up so many of our plans, because I was sure that we will have a good tour offer this year to tour Australia, and hopefully even maybe
things were brewing, and then Corona decided to rear up its head, so that postponed everything. So now we just, at this point, we've got nothing on the cards.
Yeah, so because we don't even want to play small local shows, that kind of thing, because not that we're a bigger band or blah blah blah, but it's just like the band would gain nothing out of it. I think I personally passed that point of just having fun in the show. When I'm playing a show, I need to make sure that show actually would add something to this business, which is our band. Otherwise, it would just be a waste of my time, these guys' time, and our money. So, yeah.
Because we've spammed our friends to death. And,
Yeah, we play a lot of local shows.
Perth people already know about us, and I'm not saying everyone knows about us, but the people that want to know us. And, we're not going to win over any new faces playing locally because everyone either knows about us or doesn't really care about us. So.
Yeah. It's a hard time for bands, especially touring-wise, but then we just start shooting videos and music, so we're having fun, and we
permanent lifestyle.
Yeah, we keep the business going, no matter what, I guess.
Cool. I'm super keen to hear more about sort of running it as a business. I just made a big note of that here because that is something that again I usually try and ask band about how they approach the band as a business. So if they're just playing, you know what I mean? So if you actually have, as you were saying, if you have some ideas behind it, so instead, we don't need to go out and play all these shows if it doesn't gain anything, if it doesn't have an overall purpose for the business plan. So I'm curious to sort of hear a bit more about sort of like business plan, sort of moving forward, and how you structure the band as a business. You mentioned a credit card debt as well. That's obviously not an ideal part of a business. But.
Well, you hear
that's
it a lot.
Big mistake. Don't use a credit card.
Yeah, I mean, you hear it a lot. People will go on tour and they'll use their credit card to finance it and to try and use that to get off the ground. But I guess with our releases, what me and Max have slowly done is our budget started here with our EP, and then every song that we've released, the budget has been condensed, but we've maintained the quality, we think.
Yeah.
But we've actually been decreasing the budget so that after, say our last song, the band Spotify managed to pay for that. So, we've really been, I don't want to say cutting corners, but we have been cutting unnecessary costs so that we can still maintain quality, but get them out at almost break even, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's our plan. So getting to break even, I guess, with any business, doesn't matter if you're a music business, fast food business. I think when you start a business, if you can get to a break even point after 4 or 5 years, you should be very happy. So we're trying to get to that point. So
because as you know, and me and Max always hate this, but bands don't make money, people. When we say the business to be profitable, we're merely trying to say we don't want to pay to be in a band like everyone else does. We just want the band to be self-sustaining. We don't expect to get a paycheck from Nucleust. I haven't seen mine yet.
No.
But I just don't want to be paying for things to be in the band. So
Yeah.
It's not a good model, man. Like, you keep spending money.
What a silly hobby. It costs you so much. I'd rather paint Warhammer toys and pay out the bum for that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose like you because you keep mentioning that is something that potentially could be profitable. And again, like you mentioned that was the Spotify that pay for some of the recordings and stuff. So
music, actually.
Yeah, Apple Music and Spotify have always been strong for us.
Oh, good.
And, and it's funny because the Spotify stats never reflect on any of our socials. So if you haven't followed our Instagram, please do it, because our Instagram looks like we're a garage cover band, whereas our Spotify looks like we should be touring, whereas we're not because of COVID. But our Instagram looks horrible with those numbers.
Yeah, like our Spotify numbers are like in a way better stats. Like, we can compare our stats in Spotify to like bands like signed to like good labels, which feels really good that we can do that. So and it's all organic. We don't pay for any playlists. We just let Spotify algorithm,
we just feed the beast. Yeah, we just feed the beast. We just throw the song at Spotify and just cross our fingers.
Yeah, we stay back, hopefully add to some playlists, and that will just do the job for you. So and that's one of the other reasons we don't have any plan to release an album, because of
the money too.
Money, and it's kind of it's like a waste of your creativity on just like because when you release an album on Spotify, except the single and maybe one of the one that has the video, the rest of it, they don't really get any attention anymore.
No one really cares more than,
so
people just watch the single that has the music video and they don't really care about the rest.
Yeah. So,
and who wants 5 Ironmotion?
Yeah, like with Ironmotion EP, we wish. I mean, I wish I knew that at that time, because we released the EP, and then there's a couple of songs in that EP that I personally really, really like, but because of us just dropped the EP straight like on a week or two after Ironmotion single, they haven't really got much attention as much as they deserve. Like Dark Days song, like the song called Dark Days, I found it like very catchy, and I found it's actually a really good song. So I always feel like this song gonna be a hit in this EP, and then Ironmotion was the hit, and we all like so surprised because Ironmotion is the heaviest song and doesn't even have cleans in it, and it's like it's a great song, don't get me wrong, but it's a heavy one, and it has some really technical riff in the middle and at the end, blah blah blah. But then we thought Dark Days would be the hit, but then it wasn't.
And this might have just been my thought, but when we had the EP and we're listening to the final masters, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do one music video, and it wasn't my decision, but as a band, we all came to the conclusion that we'd do the video for Ironmotion. And my thought pattern was, well, Ironmotion is the weakest song, but needs the most help, so a music video is best for that. Yeah. Whereas Walls of Glass and Dark Days are bangers, they don't need this glossy music video. They're going to go well without it. But just because the music video was out with Ironmotion, that just went bonkers. But everyone just didn't care about the other ones that I personally thought were way better.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I found the whole EP that I think all the songs really complement each other really, really well. Like again, it's like a mini album, where they're all songs are really strong, so there's no fillers. But yeah, I can't even sort of pick out a weak song, if you like, because again, like they all have a purpose there. I think like the outro of Walls of Glass, that end riff there, just Walls of Glass. Yeah, that is brutal, man. But such good songs, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting about the whole Spotify thing. I actually didn't know that was or could be sort of quite profitable in that way.
Well, it is and it isn't. But when we say it pays for our song production, we're not going to splurge numbers here because we've got a little secret formula going with people. But we've got our production costs so low because we do it all ourselves that Spotify mightn't bring in much, but it brings in for us to release a single every 2 months.
Yeah, at this point, Spotify's streaming money, it's good enough for us. Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there any other ways to sort of add to that revenue stream? Like from, I'm talking about like other sources instead of just relying on streaming services.
When we were playing shows, buying merch was a big one. Like I remember in the Polaris show, we sold a lot of merch. I mean, this guy was a hell of a salesman.
I'm a car salesman in the past life. I was just like handing them out.
He was a hell of a salesman. And then we sold a lot of merch, and then the revenue, the money we got from that night was like,
it paid for the next.
It paid for like, it was great, but because we don't have that luxury anymore, man, merch is big because merch is because the margin, the profit margin on merch it's massive. So like you can sell a t-shirt for $40. And that's where all the money comes for big bands, really, honestly, because merch is what they're gonna earn their money from. And because if you sign to a label, I think label usually take like 60 to 40, so they usually take like 60% of all your online sales and loyalty and blah blah blah. So merch, definitely merch, man. And then
YouTube, when we get monetized, we're trying to get to 1,000 subs so that we can get monetized. So
we're trying to do that.
That would bring in a very small amount. But
post some Kardashians, just get very sexy.
Well, maybe that'd be the next thing. Like you can do like a Nucleust reality show or something.
That would be fun. I can talk underwater, so I'd love that. Yeah, you could just go talk without anyone around me.
Yeah.
I can just talk all day.
But that's great. Again, it's content. Again, I'm sure a lot of fans would love to hear from you. So again, and if you are a salesman, I'm sure you can come up with some good stories there. Talk about your photography as well.
Yeah.
There are heaps of things you can talk about. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah.
But so, where, in regards to sort of ambitions and stuff, where would you guys like to sort of take this eventually?
Oh, modestly, just for the band to pay for itself and maybe have a break-even tour or two. Really, we'll obviously still work jobs and forever will, but if we could go on a tour and it not break the bank, it might actually pay for itself. That would be
like at this point. Yeah.
What sort of tour would that be, ideally, if you could add something on the wish list?
If this is like a genie type wish scenario, then you'd do a fucking Europe tour and then American tour, and you just go bonkers for that. But realistically, at this point, an Australian tour would be good during Corona.
Yeah, well, honestly, for me, there's no limit. Honestly, like the more we can push this, the happier I will be. So and that's our point anyway. Well, before Corona, our plan was by this year we have some offers from labels, but I think at this point that's probably going to be a bit far fetched. But I'm pretty sure it's just add more. That's just for me. I want to create a better team around us. I think that's the best way to say it. So a team could be a good booking agent, could be a possible manager, could be a good PR person, a good team. Be honest with you, just a good team. I would love to have I use Nick's advice as like my mentor sometimes, but like I would like to have other mentors as well. Business mentors. To me, the better team. For instance, Colin Jeff's doing our videos now, so that's like a team thing. So we're just trying to find those people around us that we are comfortable working with them, and we believe the quality that they're bringing to this band is something valuable. Yeah. So for me, a label could be the team. You know what I'm saying, but not necessarily. So.
Because we've built a nice little team so far. Like a few people we didn't mention was like when we have gigs, Scotty. We forget about gigs, but we got Scotty, our sound guy. He's our man. He comes to all our shows, does all our sound. He's on point. And then we got Joe from Dark Spirit Photography. We get him down to every gig that we can afford to have him on and get live snaps for the socials. Yeah. And we'll use them repeatedly because their quality is just where we want it. It's top tier stuff. Yeah. So check them out if you need any of those things.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone knows Joe Varley.
Don't tell anyone about Scotty though, because he doesn't charge enough, and we want to keep it that way.
I just while you're talking there, I just wrote down a couple of points here in regards to the team.
I also love to work with I was lucky to had the sponsorship from Solar Guitars lately. And then I would like to work with these, companies work with create like a plugin for guitars or create that, I love to do these things as well as part of the band. So hopefully slowly I'll manage to make those things happen as well.
There's a few things brewing.
Yeah, cool. I actually had that written down with regards to your endorsement as well. So I can ask you about that now. How did that happen?
Well, pretty organic, really.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I've been using I own one Solar guitar. It's like a custom artist limited edition 7-string. And I just love it. For the price that you're paying, it's the best guitar you can have. And I'm a person who owned Schecter, ESP, Jackson. I pretty much have all the brands except Fender. And then and they're all pretty expensive guitars. Like ESP guitars are super expensive, but Solar guitars are just value. And then I play with it. I love it. I actually ended up selling all the other guitars because I needed money. And I stopped playing with them because the Solar guitar was the best one. And
the solo guitar was like half the price.
yeah, it was like $1,000 at that time that I bought it. It's ridiculous how cheap this guitar. And then slowly, like, you know, they start liking our stuff on social medias, and you know,
because we tagged them a lot.
Yeah, and
as you should, yeah.
Yeah,
and then I just emailed them, man. I just emailed them and be like, you know, yeah, I just like to work with you guys, you know, and create better, I don't know, like a custom guitar for myself, like that kind of thing. And then they were pretty open to it. It's as easy as it is, I guess. Yeah. They like what Nucleust do, and they like how I represent their brand. So yeah.
Hopefully, it's the start of a good relationship. Anyway, we'll stick with them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that again, another one to add on the good team. To the team. Yep. Well, let me try and sort of get back to the notes I made here about sort of the team and the label. So, if you were to join a label, what would you what would you expect to get out of that?
Money.
I think money. Like if the label don't make any money, though, there's no money to be handed out. But usually, I think because again, I'm a little bit torn on the whole label situation in this day and age, because like you guys are very good at sort of doing a lot of stuff online. So I'm just curious to see, what do you think a label would be able to do for you?
Fun, dude, fun. Like what labels do, they give you a guarantee.
They'd loan us some money so that we could do a better music video and a better.
That's what it is. Plus, you know, there's support as well. Like, you know, like, and you can tell, like, you know, labels like Fearless Records, they have like I Prevail and Wage War. You know, those bands are like doing really well, super well. And when you go to that label page, you see like how good that label is and how much they're helping their bands. But then in the same time, honestly, I don't think unless you reach to a level, you shouldn't really sign to a label, because you have to be able to fulfill their financial expectations. And if you can't do it, it will be very dumb to do it. And I see so many of these, I don't know, like so many of our friends and you know, people in bands that I know. It's so interesting because I can tell you, I'm not going to call you the names of those bands. Well, I can tell you like a couple of Perth bands that they were doing really well, and then they signed to a label. Like they say that it's a big label, but I mean, I never heard of a label before in my life. And then straight away after they signed to that label, they just went down. They just didn't do anything. Most of them, they disbanded. Most of them just starting to produce crappy music. I don't know why. I don't understand it, but I can see that as a negative thing. So I think bands need to be really careful, because honestly, you can run it. Like if you have a good booking agent, if you have some good network,
because the labels,
they book you tours and shows.
The label's going to want money from you, from your sales. They're going to want a cut of your profits. But you know, most bands don't have profits, so I guess they think that they can, you know, make more profits for them. But you know, just
saying that, I personally really like Nucleust to be, to go under like, you know, Rise Records or Fearless Records or Sharpton Records. These three, are like my favorites at the point.
Grayscale's a good one too, but like
Grayscale's in Australia. Yeah, so like these are the ones that you can tell they really take good care of their bands, and their bands doing well.
They do.
You know,
their bands. Those labels are a little ramp, and when the bands hit it, they fucking go.
Yeah.
Actually, you can tell that the labels.
Alpha Wolf is like one of the good example of it.
They've been hustling for years too. They're good.
Cool. Have you been in negotiations with any of those?
No.
Nah, they don't want to know us yet.
Not yet. No, I don't think we're ready yet, man. Like we're gonna have to. Yeah.
We don't want to ask, and they don't want to ask us. So
no,
it's a stalemate.
Cool. So, but is there a certain point where you sort of would feel now would be a good time? Like, do you need a couple of more singles or another EP or?
I think numbers and bigger portfolio. So like we need
more singles.
We need bigger numbers, and we need to do some tours maybe before jump over the label. So we need to show them that what we're capable of and how much we're happy to commit and sacrifice because of this band.
It's all about the consistency.
Yeah, and that as well.
Because we could obviously be going hard for a year or two and then just go, well, that was fun and stop. But we need to sort of prove to everyone that we can keep this 110% going indefinitely.
We're not having fun. It's not fun.
It's not fun most of the time, no, is it? It's a grind.
It's a job, but we love it.
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah. So, and is it mainly the two of you? Because there's obviously a couple of other guys in the band as well. But is it mainly the two of you sort of doing the songwriting process and the management of the band?
Yeah. I'll do most of that.
Max does the writing. I just do my vocals.
Jayden's do a lot of like creating our promotional materials, and like Jayden's great in those things. So Jayden's like
Photoshop. I live in Photoshop.
Yeah, and video and like so many
stuff.
things. Jaden's so good with those things. So has a very good vision of how you should create these things. So I trust Jayden like 100%.
We went really bright for these promo shoots, and everyone was making fun of my blue jeans that I got from the Salvos for $5. But I don't know, maybe spending $100 on a set of ripped jeans that you see a lot of these same kids wearing. So I know $5 Salvo jeans. I don't know. It seems like pretty cool to me.
That's photo shooting on a budget. That's good.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
It is, but again, that's pretty cool that you sort of can sort of complement each other there. So you sort of fill out certain areas within the band. Again, creating that good team. In regards to sort of, because you mentioned touring before as well, booking agents and stuff. Is there are you booking your own shows, or is that something that you are using someone else for as well?
At this point, we are booking our own shows. Yeah.
Max is our acting manager.
Yeah, at this point we are.
Max is the in-house manager.
Yeah, but there are so many booking agents and promotion like touring companies that being super. And
they've thrown us
kind to us because
they've thrown us a lot of bones, these companies, and we've really appreciated it. So we've been lucky.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. But so if you were to sort of say you release a couple of more singles, you start talking to Fearless Records and stuff like that, what sort of level would you need to take it to before it would sort of be something where it might be something you'd try and do full time? Does it need to get to a certain level?
The dream. Yeah.
I think it comes down to your standard of living.
That's exactly
my standard of living's a lot different to Max being a father. My standard of living could be I could be living off breadcrumbs, just so that I could say I'm living off music. But I think realistically, you would probably go on tour a fair bit of your life, and then when you're not on tour, you might have enough time between tours to pick up some casual work. But I think living off a band in 2020 you got to be pretty bloody big.
Yeah,
I couldn't even guess. I just, because it's like the analogy I use is it's kind of like WWE wrestling. When you're a kid, you love it, you think it's real. And then you grow up and you realize it's all fake and it's all smoke and mirrors. And the music industry is a bit like that. You'd be surprised to hear what these big bands are doing as far as what they do for a living. You'd be like, I thought you'd be driving to gigs in limousines, but no, you still work at Woolies and borrow money off your mum. It's not as profitable as a lot of people like to think. It's kind of like the WWE, whereas people like to paint the illusion that they might be full-time musicians, but that full-time might be living in your mum's basement.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but it definitely depends on how much money is enough for you in your life. Like
that's it.
Like for me, I like luxury. Not gonna lie, I like spending money on expensive stuff. So
expensive toys.
I would try to create another business if I have to tour all the time to be able to create some passive income from that. So that would be my ideal situation. So I don't want to just be relying on the band money because we just invest the band money back into the band, to get bigger and bigger. So the compounding business model that so many businesses are using.
Parkway Drive's videos,
biggest example
on Netflix. They talk about it now. They're saying, when are we going to make money? And you'd be thinking, those guys aren't making money. They're living off the band, obviously, but they're not making money.
Yeah.
So they hint at in the Netflix.
Yeah, they always like, talk about it, like, all these guys in bands that they're clever, and then they always have some side businesses. Like, I know, like, they feature, there could be something just about music. They might produce other people. They might have like a t-shirt company, have like a merch
Signature
guitars, commissions from those things. So you always have to find a way. But then, man, like, it's not a bad world considering everything is online. I actually found it really good. I know all these old-fashioned metalheads and rockers, they all complain about, like, oh, you can't buy CDs anymore, fucking people fucking streaming my music, mate. That kind of thing. But I mean, like, but then you would never have this opportunity to, like, get someone to listen to your music in one day around the world. So you need to seize the day. It's actually a good time. So I don't actually consider it as a bad thing for music. I don't consider Spotify a bad thing for music. I consider it a good thing. I consider it a platform that even smaller bands can grow as a part of it. It's not just for the bigger bands.
Yeah.
So they should pay artists more. I'll tell you that. But in our level, it's working for us. But again,
you can't put a price on exposure, and Spotify gives us more than we deserve. So we ain't complaining.
That's good to hear. I think I saw what was his name, the owner or something. He put up a post the other day saying the bands wasn't the reason why they weren't getting paid enough was because they weren't posting enough or something like that, or releasing enough.
It was like, bands are lazy, they don't release music, don't expect Spotify to do anything for you.
You can't do an album every 2 years like we used to.
Yeah, it's different times.
Yeah,
it is, man. But it's such a crazy thing, because you also, as you mentioned earlier, like, you have YouTube where you got the opportunity to monetize that. You've got a couple of other social media platforms. I can see you guys are one of the only bands I've had on that are actually active on Twitter as well. So
we try.
I don't like Twitter. Yeah, I know.
It's so hard, Twitter. No one cares about us on Twitter. We get like one like if we're lucky. Most of our posts get no likes,
but we have an account and we post from time to time
if we remember.
But that's actually, it's a funny thing, because Twitter for bands, how would you, because again, I don't use Twitter myself, so I'm curious here, like, how would you as a band promote, connect, and what do you retweet other band stuff, or like, how does it work?
I wish we knew. We are far from Twitter experts, and you can see by us how our profile is.
We are Twitter dumbs.
Yeah, no one in the band, I think, except Max, has their own Twitter profile, and he only has one just so he has one. He doesn't use it.
I don't use it. Yeah.
So we don't really know how it works and everything. I just use it as a megaphone, and I just throw the odd thing on there.
I should start some controversial discussion on Twitter and just make people...
Hey, I'm eating my breakfast. Who else likes Wheat Bix and honey? Maybe I'll do tweets like that or something.
Yeah, say something like that.
I was supposed to say, I have a Twitter account myself, and yeah, I don't use it either. But all I get every morning, I just get an update. I either get something about some stupid shit that Donald Trump has said, or I get an update about COVID in Melbourne. That's about it.
Back to it, yeah.
Yeah, Trump, he knows how to Twitter, doesn't he?
That guy knows how to Twitter.
We need some tips from him. He seems to he's massive. Oh my gosh.
That guy turned into president of the country because of Twitter, so...
He should... Maybe he could be on the Nucleust PR team or something.
That'd be a good idea.
You'll be surprised. He would do a really good job, actually.
Well, it is funny though, because again, every time you sort of post controversial stuff, you usually get a heap more engagement. Like I noticed one of your posts the other day was about sort of keeping the borders open. That's again a topic that generated a lot of comments there.
Yeah, waiting for people to start swearing at Palmer, and then they did, and we're like, cool, accomplished.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, we love to debate things like that.
Yeah.
We just give them a platform.
Yeah, but we like it though. Like I genuinely like the discussion. I actually see some people say things that you'd be like, oh, That's actually very.
Oh, it's so insightful. It's like getting your own little update on the on everyone's social opinion on the matter. You know,
it is absolutely, and it's one of the things. Like all you do is you're just asking a question, and then you can engage in conversations with people. So now it's a great opportunity.
We Facebook as a Twitter, to be honest with you, at this point, because it works better than Twitter for us. So. And
we're so lucky that we have people that bother commenting too. Like, we can ask silly questions like that, and it does get a lot of comments.
Yeah,
but it's weird. It's weird. We'll like say we'll share the new Mindsmear music video, and that might get one comment. But if we share like, what's your favorite ice cream topping, it'll get like 1,000 comments. But what are we, a bloody, like
Baskin Robbins
deal or no deal or something? I don't know. It seems like a game. Sometimes you're just asking questions. Or deal or no doesn't have a fucking question thing.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, but it's all about like interacting with your supporters, find a way to do it. It's really hard because the algorithm doesn't let you do it that easily.
Yeah.
So
DM us, PM us if you ever want to just chew the fat.
Do it.
Just private.
Just tell us.
So in regards to sort of the like algorithms and all the PR stuff, is that something that you are sort of keeping up to date on? Because I think that changes all the time.
We try.
We don't know.
No. I mean, you Google it, you YouTube it like anyone else does, and everyone has their own
different opinions. Yeah.
And you try everyone's opinion, and if one of them works, you just assume he knew what he's talking about. But there's so much trial and error.
That's literally what we do. We just keep trying, changing the tags, changing the hashtags, using this app, using that app to tell us what to do, but it's just a matter of you find what's worked for you. Like for instance, for Facebook, that discussion sort of thing is working for us. So that's our thing, with Instagram, I don't know, with YouTube, we still kind of like learning, towards it. So yeah. We're just trying to
one platform at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
We're growing one at a time.
YouTube is a priority.
YouTube is next.
Yeah, YouTube would come for you.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, good. YouTube can be especially for fans, can be a total rabbit hole. Like once you get hooked and you get the next video and the next video, then yeah, it's such a I wouldn't say a time waster, but it's such an easy way to spend time just watching up stuff that you probably shouldn't be watching. But so did you have any other ideas in mind except for some of those vocal videos? Have you got any behind the scenes, or have you got like hang out with the Kardashians Nucleust style? Or
an artist coming next week.
Yeah,
one of our songs. So.
That'll be something interesting.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
That'll be revealed on our Instagram and socials soon.
Monday, probably.
Yeah, but as far as behind the scenes, yes, we're going to put a bit of backstage footage up in little sections. Maybe I'll just like sit there and commentate on it. Like when you put the commentary on a movie, I don't know whoever does that, but I guess I'll just commentate videos of me sitting there watching these guys deal with instruments while I just do the vocalist thing and do nothing.
You could do the whole Osman reviews on the Nucleust.
Yeah. With his chap here sitting there not doing nothing, thinking he's a vocalist. Oh, gosh, what a knob he is. Yeah. Well, I'll do like a little studio run through because me and Max did sort of how he records guitars and I did how I record my vocals. So I'll do more.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, yeah.
Just, yeah, I mean, if anyone has any ideas, they can throw them at me.
We love these kind of things, like, geeky musician recording shit. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. We love all the nerdy recording stuff. We wouldn't be a DIY band if we didn't, You got to love that sort of stuff.
And so, and maybe some of those playthroughs, they are usually quite a bit of a hit as well for other musicians and fans even to watch.
I have plans to do some playthroughs.
Even some tutorials on the riffs we're going to do.
Hey.
Not just him playing them, but how you can play them.
Yeah, so, cool. That's actually a good idea, yeah. And
I'll be the tester. I'll see if I can learn one of these riffs. I haven't picked up guitar in a few years properly, so...
Oh, really? Has it been that long?
Well, no, I mean, from a serious perspective,
Yeah, because
I strum a few chords out and play rough things. But no, as far as, I see metal guitar as it's a sport, and you can't just not play AFL for a few years and then think you're going to pick it up where you left off. And for me, metal guitar's sort of in the past. I can't keep up with these boys anymore. I just play my Fender Strat and acoustics and do folk music. I don't really do metal guitar anymore. It's too slow. I'm too slow.
Right. Well, so again, some vocal tutorials would probably work.
Yeah, I could show you how to do some pig squeals or something.
Yeah, it's really. So how do you actually get to that stage? Every time I've been trying to sort of scream in the past, I wake up the next day and I can't speak.
Oh, well, I guess. Well, I started when I was
just don't wake up, or
I was started when I was. I started in high school, so I was very young, and I think I built up a tolerance for all of that when I was a young guy. And I was just trying to bark like a dog, like going ruff, ruff, ruff. And you get that little, and I just capitalized on that grumble. And I project a lot of my true voice through. So I'm always going, like I'm always putting a note there. So I don't know, I'm just harshly, gravelly singing. And yeah, I mean, I'll wake up after a gig, because if you get carried away and pushed too hard, yeah, you do feel it in the morning. But through coaching from Sean and a few other mentors, I've figured out that I don't need to go so nuts, and I still get carried away and hurt my voice. But yeah, I hate it when people say if it hurts, you're doing it wrong, because it probably will hurt for the first few weeks. But if you cough up blood, it's a different story. But it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, I suppose like with everything else, it's training. Like, and you just gotta like you have your muscle, you have your muscle soreness, right? And you guys and you'll get better at it.
I get jaw cramps, and it's happened a few times on stage. And you know how you get cramps, and they're pretty awful. My jaw cramps, and it's just the most painful thing. I'm just like, and I just like go into the fetal position because I just can't do without it. And what triggers it is if I'm screaming and a yawn comes on at the same time, because I'm tensed, and then I yawn and my jaw just goes, and I just have to. It's happened on stage once, and it was just.
So if I punch him in his face at a show, it's because of his jaw's cramped.
Yeah, he's got to snap me out of it, because
fixing it for him. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else has had that problem, but it's so crazy. When it first happened to me, I thought I'd like dislocated my jaw accidentally, because I was going, and I was just like, oh my God, what the hell? And it just freezes up, and it's so painful.
Is that how you made the cover for Pretend Pessimist?
Yeah.
With all that blue stuff.
Blue stuff and pain and numbing ointment or something.
Cool, man. I've got a question here that I like to ask pretty much everybody who's on the show. You've actually brought up a lot of really good tips already, but have you got sort of any specific advice for anyone, any band, or any artist out there that something that has worked really well for you in the past that you would like to pass on?
Don't be a dickhead. That's my advice. Yeah.
Is that the best one?
I hate it. Okay, there you go. I hate it when I'm playing a show before the bands, and everyone's just like so cold and like arrogant to each other. What's the fucking point? If you're not having fun doing this, just piss off. Just don't do it. Just don't have to be a dick to other people, and it's not the bigger bands. Like we play with Polaris, and those guys are just like the chillest dudes you can ever find. But then you play with this local band, they're playing 3 shows, and then they just have a very awful attitude. I don't think those people would ever gonna go anywhere, man. That's where I'm coming from. Like, just don't be a dickhead. Like, just learn, enjoy, and just be nice to people. That's it for me. Yeah.
What about you, Jayden?
Oh, Oh, I have a lot of pet hates, and I'm one to rant, so I've got to be concise here. But if you're a local band, watch all the bands that you're playing with. Stand right up the front center so that they see you, so that they know that you've watched, and that goes a long way, I feel. Because so many bands say, like, maybe there's a big band having a show, they'll put on someone to open for them, and they won't watch you play, and then as soon as they've finished their set, they'll load out. If you're a musician and you're caught loading your gear out through the venue before the show's over, you'll never get a fucking show through that band ever again. All that production company.
Oh, you don't.
And every Perth band does it, and it's got me buggered. And back in my day in previous bands, we used to call them out on it, and they would almost get blacklisted from the circle of bands that I played in. So it's something, and it's just, I mean, it sounds silly to even say this, but it's just common courtesy. And I mean, stick around, don't just leave after your set. It's such an entitled thing to do. It's like, well, people only came to see me, so now that I'm done, I'm just going to leave. It's just like, hold yourself, bro.
Yeah, it's exactly, continuing about what I said, pretty much what Jayden said.
Just don't be a dickhead. And see, it goes a long way.
And the other thing, practice your instrument. That's it. It's very important. If you can't play, you might be able to record yourself, by doing all sorts of magic, because recording is about it, and it's fine. You can record yourself in a very, very weird way that you might not be able to play at that point, but then learn how to play that riff that you just recorded, and then because when you're going live, then people who understand music and sees you, they will know, and then they'll be like, dude, that was bad. You can't even play your instrument. Right. So that I think very disappointing. Not that I'm such a good guitarist or whatever,
But it's common to see. Yeah. You do see a lot of people, they can pull it off in the studio with a lot of editing, but on stage they fall to bits. And they'll just be sitting there with the guitar up under their chin, you're just like, oh, this is boring.
I suppose actually the probably the tone that you portray in the album and stuff is something that's quite important to bring on stage as well, so you don't have like a really shitty sound on stage. I've seen a couple of bands who are doing that as well.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's why we have our in-ear rig, and then every single show that we play, we have the exact same tone.
Yeah,
because
we're running digital rigs. Max has dialed in his tone.
Yeah,
and we've got a sound guy.
I never go before the show and just change my knobs. Like, oh, this sound is like I need a bit more crunch in my guitar, or can you give me a bit more boost in my bass?
We're like a preset band.
Figure that out before the show, mate.
Self-created presets, but it's all set and forget once it's set up.
So how does that work? That's interesting.
Right. So you have exact same tone, exact same productions, exact same quality every single shows. Yeah. That's the standard these days anyway, man. Like I actually don't know any good metal band that they don't run in-ear rig, and then they don't run like backing tracks, and they don't have like a click track. They don't have everything is done in a most perfect possible environment, because
we're spoiled.
Yeah, because we want to perform well, and we practice for it. I remember Inhouse just put that awesome board up the other day, and we were on
Wall of Fame
200 plus jams.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that on your story.
That was actually kind of like, wow.
It's a testament to.
But that's one of the things. That's like. That's how much we practice.
Because when you go and see a band, and you've only heard their music, you go and watch them live. Theoretically, it should be at the same tempo. It should be all those little samples or the orchestral stuff. It should all be there. But so many bands will just like, if the drummer's feeling like he's on drugs that night, he's going to play the songs faster, or if he's lazy and pissed, he's going to play it slow. But with the click track and the backing track, it's always on the grid. Everything's exactly like the record, and we have the tone from the record on the guitars. We have all the orchestral stuff, all of the click. No, it's just, you could literally play the record over the top of our live show.
People will enjoy it as well because it's as if they're listening to the music.
Tempo's a big deal, you know. We don't want to play the songs faster live because we've got too much adrenaline through you.
Yeah, plus there's a reason we recorded that song in that tempo.
That's right. The groove's there for a reason.
Yeah, so if you play Ironmotion faster than what it is, it's turned into a thrash metal song. You know, it's like it's not a metalcore song anymore. Yeah.
Interesting. So how much of a sort of a backing productions are you using when you're playing live?
Well,
obviously we have all the keys and all that stuff.
Yeah, just really, sub drops. We have sub drops in there,
like strings, orchestra, like some guitar layers because
like the lo-fi stuff.
Because recently we added another guitarist to the band, Jordy. But before that, I was the only guitarist in the band, so I was running like some of the guitar layers that I can't play at the same time while I'm playing the main riff underneath my guitars, just to add more, feels and dynamic to it. Yeah, and then there's one guitar solo in Meds, and while he plays the solo, there's a rhythm guitar. Back guitar, because I can't, and we're not Pantera, so
yeah. Our solos, that's too retro for us.
Those guys can pull it off, but
yeah. But that's it, eh? That's it. It's a big rig, but that's it. Yeah.
Cool. And is that run through the front of house, or who's sort of operating that?
No, I run it from where I'm standing, but then Scotty controlling basically what's coming out of the PAs.
Yeah. So we send him all the levels. So
that's so cool, man.
Get all the guitars and drums from us. He also gets, strings.
So you'll see there's a laptop next to me, which I'm running our, backing tracks with it. So, like space, go.
So I don't ever want to see anyone jumping up on stage and pressing that space bar and pausing our song, because we would literally all just stop and just go, well, don't
touch the laptop.
It's that hard, but we can play it.
Like that, wouldn't that almost make that laptop like a super valuable band member? Like,
I'm ready pointing it out because someone's going to troll us. I tell you what.
Oh man,
that's normal. Everyone does it.
But now I'm thinking of where is our backup laptop now?
Yeah. Some people will run two laptops
in the same time,
synced up, so that when one fails, the other one kicks in seamlessly. And we don't have that system because it costs an arm and a leg.
Wow.
So we're eggs in one basket and hoping that this Acer laptop can run it for us.
Couldn't you, couldn't you run it through like a good old SPDSX or something? Well, are they not as reliable?
Well, they would be a lot more reliable, yes. But because we're running multiple outputs, we're actually running 4 outputs. We can't, because we've got, like strings, subs, distorted guitars, and then like we break up the strings into a few different tracks. So we're sending out 4, and I think those are maybe stereo outputs, but we'd like to have the 4.
It's a stereo, yeah. Unless you run it through the MIDI, but then you need some MIDI splitter at the other end as well.
Yeah,
and because we're running the just Pro Tools or your DAW, it's also running the click. So we're technically out of the in-ear rig, we're actually sending out about 10 things, but only 4 things go to the front of the house, and the rest just goes to our ear.
But with the laptop, you have way more control on it. So basically, you can adjust the levels in your ears. If for some reason at a venue, if it's bigger or smaller, I kind of feel that my laptop or my guitar needs more push in my ears, or I need to hear the drums better, I can just adjust it straight away. So it's actually good because you have 100% control. But then the chances of failure is also there too, because it's a laptop, so it's risky. It's risky business, but
But it's such a
hasn't happened yet. But,
we have our own custom in-ear mix each, and I just get on stage and I've had the same mix for every show we've ever played, and I don't ever touch it. And it just sounds great off the bat. Never need to worry about sound check. So when we do sound check, it's not for us. The sound check is for the front of house. We just get and we're set to play.
Yeah, I generally don't care what's happening in the front of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, that Scotty deals with that, and we deal with what we hear. So he doesn't.
Yeah, like we don't use fallbacks or anything like that. We don't have any fallbacks, right?
If you turn the front of house off, all you would hear was just like electric guitar strings and drums, and me just
No, it's pretty much you can only hear drums.
Yeah, you don't hear drums, eh?
Because the rest is just like
the wedges. And this is my prediction for 2030: wedges on stages will be props.
Yeah.
They will not be used. They're already not getting used. They're just there for the cosmetic value now that you watch. Like Marshall cabs with no speakers in them, the next new thing will be putting wedges along the front of stages with no speakers in them. Just empty boxes.
Nice, man. I love it. Now it's a super cool concept. I think I thought Tesseract did it as well when they were in Perth. They had all their
fans doing the same thing. None of them actually run cab like North Lane.
Yeah.
As far as I know, nothing coming out of those cabs. Those cabs are just because it looks good on stage. Like I know for a fact, Gojira, they have this set of 2x8 cabs. They just show nothing coming out of any of those cabs.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's the FX Kemper type is the only thing you need to bring.
Yeah.
Like, for the periphery fans out there, it's interesting, like, he has his own custom guitar head, and you're thinking, oh, fancy. And you're like, on stage, he does a rig rundown, it's worth a look. He'll have his head and his cabinet, and it all looks spacey, and you're thinking, oh, yeah, show us this new head and cab you're working on and using. He goes, I actually see down the bottom behind the back here, I'm actually just using an Axe effect straight out the front. You know, and that's his own product that he's meant to be selling, but not even he can bring himself to use a real guitar amp in 2020. So,
yeah. All right, those guys are full-on digital guys as well.
It's all about digital. Straight out of the headphone jack, in other words, in layman's terms.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's a whole other conversation to have, because again, I'm sure a lot of other musicians would be like, no, that's not real music when it's all digital and all that stuff. But it is, you know, it's that day and age, man. You like, I'm all for it personally. Like,
better. I don't know. I wonder what people are talking about. I mean, if they're happy to carry their 20 kilos cab and then 10 kilos head, and then you know, they want to get backache, yeah, for sure, do it. And then your sound's gonna be shit anyway. So
yeah,
it gives it definitely gives you the edge live. Like some of the sound that you can produce live, like for the audience, sounds phenomenal, man.
Yeah, when it was an emerging thing. And it wasn't so commonplace in the Perth scene. When a touring band would come with their digital rigs, all the supporting bands would be all analog real amps. The leap of sound quality was so amazing that it just blew your soul. Back then, as a young tacky, you're like, what? It's just because they're better, isn't it? But no, it was because they were digital, and everyone in local Perth were naive back, 10 years ago.
But but that's also why it's so cool to talk to you and hear how you're actually recording the songs. Cause that's, again, first of all, like, it's far more efficient because you can sit at home and do it. You can fine tune. You got all the control. But it's always a lot cheaper because you don't need to go out and hire a studio and pay for someone else's time, to sit there and, be a recording engineer and stuff. Like you can say what you want about the end product, but it sounds wicked whether you actually like the music or not. Like, the end product sounds amazing.
Man, the fact that the guitars that you're hearing in Pretend Pessimist and Mindsmere is just a guitar plugin, it just says everything.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a great guitar plugin. It's Will Putney's STL Tone, which is a great plugin, but it's a guitar plugin. It's not even Axe Effects or Kemper. It's a guitar plugin tool
worth like under a couple $100.
How much we paid? It was on special. I think it was
like $80 or something.
$80. It does the job, and it works way better than all the other things that I've done.
What it works better than is going into a studio for 4 days straight, tracking through a guitar amp, paying out the nose in the thousands to have someone critique your performance, make you change strings unnecessarily, just to milk the time out of it. Real studios are a bloody con artist, and I'm I ran a studio for a while, and I know exactly why they do, and they say what they do. It's all just to milk more money out of you. It's a joke.
I might bring that up. I've got Jay from Oracle. He's coming on the show next week. I might have a chat to him about that. But it's I was about to say, it is such a good conversation starter again, because it is something again. It's the same again, like, should you open the borders or not? Like, or like, is Trump a good guy or not? Like, there's always going to be people sitting on the fence, and it'll be a fiery conversation. It's not like, what's your favorite icing topic?
Here's the thing. I can imagine bands that they haven't done the work. You know, they don't know how to record themselves. They don't know how these things work. They don't even practice to a click track. Right? We've done all these things. You know what I'm saying? So when I go to the studio, I'm not a dumb person that you're dealing with. You know, so like, but if there's someone that has no clue what's going on, and if, you know, the studio guy taking the piss out of him, I mean, like, better not do it, because that's not nice. But, you know, maybe I get it, because then they have no clue what they're talking about. But I mean, when we go into studio, we're not going to studio anymore.
Never been into a studio, but never been recorded before in my life.
If we're going into a studio and you're dealing with a really good producer, whatever, we still understand the concept. You know what I'm saying? But then if someone that doesn't want to spend the time to learn it, they'll be like, you know, dude, these softwares are too hard for me to learn, you know, like blah blah. If you're that person, get used to getting shit from,
that's right,
from studio dudes.
If you're too lazy to learn how to record yourself, then you deserve to get ripped off by studios.
That's actually very true.
On how I recorded my vocals for under $100.
We're supposed to be nice people.
I did it with a cheap $50 interface. I mean, the microphone was $500, but
it's a $50 interface.
But, you know, you could do it with a 58 if you wanted, or a 57 would be closer to the M7B, which I use.
Yeah.
You know, no, I set all my friends up with cheap recording setups. You know, it's cheap, it's easy. You just got to know what you're doing and have someone that's no bullshit, that's not trying to make money off you, tell you how to do it properly. So hit me up. I only charge $50.
But that's again, like, utilize YouTube, because there's a tutorial out there for everything, and like, you don't need to spend months. Like, you can literally learn the basics in a couple of days if you want to get into it.
I started when I was 15, and I don't believe that people at my age now, and I'm 28, are still like, DAW. When you say DAW, what is that? I'm like, a recording program. Oh, a recording program, like a GarageBand, Audacity, and I'm just like, you fucking what? When? Get to primary school. 2020, you gotta know how to do this shit. It's crazy. Hey, don't get me started.
Yeah, I agree. But again, yeah, it is the whole thing about, you know, yeah, it's not for me. I'm a musician. I want to play. I'm not a recording engineer or something like that. But yeah, you should. It definitely it broadens your horizon, like to know more of the industry. Exactly the same as it is sort of trying to sit and wrap your head around social media and stuff. But this year will no doubt save a lot of bands a lot of money if they wanted to invest the time.
I'm hoping what I'm going to say is a good example. It's almost like you always say, like, I don't want to cook, so I just want to keep going to McDonald's or the Hungry Jack's and, like, you know, buy like fast food, and then you're planning about, like, oh, why I'm, you know, getting fat, or why I'm having a heart attack. It's like, well, because you don't want to do the hard work and just, you know, take care of yourself. So it's the same thing, you know. If you know how to do it, it's cheaper. You can spend you can do whatever you want. I can just, like, not tune my guitar and then release a record. It's no one's business. You know what I'm saying? I can do it if I want to. You know, I can just do whatever I want. I can have a shitty tone and record and set it up. But because you can't do it, you have the control. So just why not? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
We're in 2020, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just before we wrap it up here, can you run us through where people should go if they want to sort of check out your socials and sort of keep up to date with future singles and be on that little mailing list or be on that thing where you get bugged with updates constantly?
Well, you can definitely hit us up on Instagram. I'm on there a lot. Always up for a private message. I'd high five you if I ever see you if you could just subscribe to our YouTube channel, because it's such a grind, and we've got a lot of good stuff coming up on there. Not just us doing stuff, but us trying to show you how to do stuff.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah. So, and I mean, if you like Facebook, follow Facebook. We're active everywhere, but Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, that's the trio.
stream our music on Spotify.
Oh yeah, and Spotify.
And subscribe to YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah, Spotify's good too. And just
because then they will pay us.
Just everything.
What and can you just shout out the handles for, because obviously these here will go on the podcast eventually. So the handles on the different platforms.
Well, Instagram is @Nucleust, so that's a real simple one. And then on Facebook it's just Nucleust.
Just Nucleust.
Just Nucleust.
We're the only Nucleust in the world, I'm pretty sure, with a T at the end.
And on YouTube we're also just Nucleust Band.
As far as I know, there are a lot of Nucleus, but there's no Nucleus.
Yeah, you got to put the T in there. So on YouTube, we're Nucleust brackets official, and on Spotify we are Nucleust, the one and only.
Also, if you wanna just enjoy a whole discography, feel free to check out our Bandcamp, because our Bandcamp is technically our website. Because we brought our website down because there's a lot of money to spend on something that doesn't really look that beneficial. So we brought it down, but our Bandcamp page is pretty much our website. So everything that you can imagine that we've done, all the songs and merch, it's there. So subscribe to it. We'll be in touch.
Fantastic. No, that's good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I've had everything sort of scrolling down the bottom here as well, so people can. If people are watching this back later, they can obviously check that out as well. But it's definitely good to have the shout outs here. I suppose at the end of the day, people can just search for Nucleust if you're the only ones. Then it's gonna pop up. Cool. Have you
CUST?
Yes, that's again how we spell it. So it's very. How did you come up with that name, by the way? It's quite unique.
Other than that, it's all about the unity. We all part of the atom, the nucleus.
So that's just so it's a nucleus and just add a T at the end.
T, just to make it different.
T for team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, look, it's been super fun. It's been super awesome. I really appreciate all the insights to some of the the recording techniques and how to sort of approach the band part of things. That's been very knowledgeable. I'm sure a lot of people would agree, because again, I think you guys are doing something that a lot of upcoming bands need to sort of learn from, and definitely could learn from in one way or the other. So thanks a lot for sharing all of that.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah.
And now as we're going to round up, we're going to finish off on your latest single. So can you introduce that and just tell us a bit what that's about?
Well, this song is called Mind Smear, and it's about turning your back on negativity and cleansing and washing yourself from everyone and problems in general. Just turning your back and saying, I've had enough. I'll wash it away and start over is the lyric. So hope you all enjoy.
Fantastic. Let's throw it on here. And if people wanted to check this out and listen to it again and again and again, they can head over to YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, and it's out everywhere.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, guys.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally just keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HELhammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.